Bill O'Reily has just claimed that Joe Biden has officially made the decision to quit. The only delay is figuring out how to convey this message. In fact, you could see in the tweet here. Here's an update a Biden update from BillO'Reilly.com news headquarters. Okay, this is his own news channel after he went independent. The decision has been made that the president will quit the campaign. We don't have a citation for this. We don't have a source for this. We don't have anything right now other than Bill O'Reilly saying it. He says 2 reasons. Democrat internal polling says he cannot recover from the debate, and fundraising is drying up. So it's over for Joe, but the White House doesn't yet know how or when to make the announcement. Stay close. When you go to Bill O'Reilly's webpage, there isn't really any kind of like, hey, here's our data or fact to back this up. But here's what I think it means, and then we're going to hit some of the latest polls that just came out. First, it is possible, yes, that Bill O'Reilly heard something that nobody else has heard yet. Bill O'Reilly has been a journalist for a very long period of time, and once you're in the journalistic community, you find it's relatively small. And staffers who work in the White House, they send stuff to the media all the frickin' time. Why? This is jaded, but let's be real. People who work at the White House eventually want to do things like have a position like press secretary, and then end up getting a job at one of the news agencies they've been leaking stuff to the whole time. Why do you think Circleback Saki's there now, or Kayleigh McEnany? It's like the normal progress. You either, after you work at the White House, you either go into media and make big bucks, or you pull a Treasury Mnuchin, cozy up to the Saudis, and make millions of dollars managing their money with the connections that you have within the United States that you got while you were in the White House, okay? And we don't need to talk about Treasury Secretary Mnuchin using presidential planes, the last weeks of the Trump administration to go visit the Saudis for likely personal purposes. This is totally unrelated, and it's just total allegation and thoughts, that can't be substantiated at this point anyway, even though such trips did happen. What we have to think about is could Bill O'Reilly be right? Well, let's think about this. First of all, let's say that Joe Biden has decided to stay in the fight. Well, then we wouldn't really expect an announcement. We would expect to hear what we heard Thursday night and Friday. The party's backing Biden. He's staying in. Fine. But here's the problem. When the fundraising dries up, you get a lot of Democratic pressure. People follow the money. Incentives matter, and politics loves money. So when the fundraising goes from a normal, stable rate to all of a sudden terrible, the pressure to replace Biden will skyrocket. Let's do some math. Joe Biden in April raised about $1.7 million per day. After the debate, we believe, based on the announcements that we're getting, Joe Biden has raised about $6 million. That's the difference of what we heard, $27 million raised on debate day through Friday, and now the Sunday update, which is $33 million. Okay. If we assume, and it's an assumption, but the vast majority of that 27 was before the debate, and everybody hit panic before they realized, okay, maybe we still need to support Biden, then that means he's really only raised 6 between the debate and now. The problem with that is 3.7 of that was probably pre-committed funding for an event held at Governor Phil Murphy's mansion. So if you take that out, you've really only raised about $2.3 million after the debate. Now, that's for Friday, Saturday, Sunday. $2.3 million divided by 3, and the Sunday's not completely over yet, okay? But if I divide that, instead of the $1.7 million per day that we had in April, when politics weren't even that exciting and in people's face, we're now at really about $760,000, so about $1 million less per day that the Biden administration is possibly raising. Obviously, we're making some assumptions here. But the point is, the raise between the update of 27 mil and 33 mil, if people were really jazzed about this debate and they're like, yes, all in on Biden, we shouldn't be at the April average of 1.7 per day. We certainly shouldn't be potentially $1 million less on the daily basis. We should be like 10x that. People should be throwing in money at Biden after this debate if they're like, no, we're good. We're still backing Joe. Money should be pouring in after the debate. but I don't think it is. And here's what the Democratic Party is probably going through. They're probably saying, all right, game plan, very simple. Biden's going to step back. We're going to let him make that decision. Once he does, we're going to have a replacement. But even after we pick a replacement, we're going to have to be able to announce that replacement in a spectacle, because we're going to be able to have to argue that we need money. We are starting from scratch. We need money. Save the country from Donald Trump and throw as much money as you can at our new ticket. That's the Democratic argument. So Bill O'Reilly makes a point here when he says, hey, it's over for Joe, but the White House doesn't yet know how or when to make the announcement. My prediction is you need a few days. You need the Pelosi's and Chuck Schumer's and, the Clintons or whatever to all get together and be like, okay, we're going to pick, let's just say, Newsom and Michelle Obama. Then we're going to call all our rich donors. Will you make a commitment that if we make the announcement we're switching to Newsom and Michelle Obama, you'll donate? Okay, then they get the commitments. Then they come up with the branding, the ads, the print, everything. They can get it all done by July 4th, and then they make the banger announcement. Joe Biden does the, for the good of the country and for the fight against Donald Trump. Read teleprompter. Pause. I'm going to step down. Whatever, right? Then you can have the branding, the websites are up, all the other websites and donation aspects are ready. But in order to help fight the fight, we need your money. Boom. Donate to the next ticket. But it's not just fundraising, it's also polling. Look at the Real Clear Politics betting average. It's much more extreme than what you see over at Predict It. But if you go to the Real Clear Politics betting average, for Donald Trump, you're sitting somewhere about 54.3%, but Biden's odds went from somewhere around 35-ish% all the way down here to 19%. That's crazy. And the Real Clear Politics betting average actually puts Newsom around the 9% range, with Harris and Obama in the 5s, Kennedy down in that 1% range. Wow, pretty wild. But it also is reiterated by what you're seeing over here at CBS News, which conducted a poll with YouGov. Does Biden have the cognitive mental abilities to serve as president? A 7 percentage point increase in those who think no, he does not, and an 8% decline in those who think he does. Does mental and cognitive health to serve as president? In other words, does Trump? And for Trump, you're about 50-50. But Biden, you're almost 72 to 27%. So most people here don't think he does. Should Biden be running for president? Before, so back in February, 63% said should not. That has increased by another 9 percentage points to 72. And that is amongst registered voters in total. Amongst Democratic voters, so narrowing down to just Democrats, what do you get? You get 46% versus 36% earlier. So you just lost 10 percentage points worth of Democrats thinking he should not be running for president. And see, that's what happens. When Democrats start fleeing and Democrats stop suggesting they're going to vote for the candidate, then the wealthy donors are going to stop donating to that candidate because it's lost money. And then the party's going to panic, which they already are, about Joey needs to step down. We need to pick a replacement. How are we going to announce the replacement? So, is it possible Bill O'Reilly has some insight? Yes. Do we know for sure that he does? No. Did he give us any evidence? No. Are we making assumptions with the fundraising path? Yes. But I think it's accurate, because I think it's a manipulation to say, hey, since debate day, we raised $27 million when they reported it Friday night. And then today they're doing, since debate day, we've raised $33 million. Yeah. Tell us since debate night. And the numbers are going to be bad. But you could spin the manipulation if you don't carefully watch the wording. It's really dangerous, and it's a great way to get tricked in politics. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.
Not advertise these things that you told us here. I feel like nobody else knows about this.
We'll try a little advertising and see how it goes.
Congratulations, man. You have done so much. People love you. People look up to you.
Kevin Paffrath there, financial analyst and YouTuber. Meet Kevin. Always great to get your take.
Even though I'm a licensed financial advisor, licensed real estate broker, and becoming a stockbroker, this video is not personalized advice for you. It is not tax, legal, or otherwise personalized advice tailored to you. This video provides generalized perspective, information, and commentary. Any third-party content I show shall not be deemed endorsed by me. This video is not and shall never be deemed reasonably sufficient information for the purposes of evaluating a security or investment decision. Any links or promoted products are either paid affiliations or products or services we may benefit from. I also personally operate an actively managed ETF. I may personally hold or otherwise hold long or short positions in various securities, potentially including those mentioned in this video. However, I have no relationship to any issuer other than HouseHack, nor am I presently acting as a market maker. Make sure if you're considering investing in HouseHack to always read the PPM at househack.com.